Bienvenidos, Fright fans, and welcome to the horror show. I am Jaime En Fuego, here to present a special encore presentation that originally in 2015 was seen on my then YouTube channel, Jaime En Fuego, which was for a program called ENFUEGOTAINMENT that is in the process of a relaunch. But we thought that for the month of October, the best thing that we could do was bring the entire series coverage of the 1980s and 90s Tales from the Crypt HBO television show over to the horror show, show it to a larger audience so that they can appreciate all of the hard work. Man, did I bust my ass for that month or so, getting every single one of the 93 episodes done and reviewed and spoken about. We did a little of my little trope at the time, which was Bueno, Malo, Feo, which is a good episode, a bad episode, and an ugly episode. I am taking these 3 at a time, and then also a special 3-episode final edition covering all 3 of the films. Yes, there are in fact 3 films. So join me here as we jump into a little bit of a horrific relic that I am very proud to show all of you guys. So until next time, stay scared. Bienvenidos, worldwide fans of scarific cinema. This is Jaime En Fuego for ENFUEGOTAINMENT, where I am always covering the hottest entertainment with an edge. And here we are for the 30th installment of my Tales from the Crypt coverage. And I'm so sad that it's almost over. However, as I wade through the 7th season here, perhaps it's a little bit better than it is. So when I realized that there were going to be 31 days in the month of October. Obviously, I knew that already. However, the key bit of information is that there were 93 episodes of Tales from the Crypt, my beloved anthology horror series. And so the math added up perfectly. 31 days, 3 episodes a day, the Bueno, the Malo, and the Feo, as I always do here on ENFUEGOTAINMENT. It just kind of made sense to wade through the entire series, man. And I mean, this is a series where I saw most of the episodes back when they were originally, being like rebroadcast and stuff. I didn't have HBO as a kid, unfortunately. But yeah, there were some episodes that I had not seen, and so going through the entire run, it's been cool, it's been enlightening, it's been scarific, as I would quote Mr. John Kassir, the Crypt Keeper, to say. So let's just jump right into it, man. Let's get to today's Bueno episode. And this one's called Report from the Grave. Yeah, that's right. And the 7th season's been pretty disappointing. They moved production to the UK after doing the first 6 seasons here in the US. But man, this episode, it stands out. There's always some diamonds in the rough, even in this 7th season, and this is one of them, man. Gotta tell you, James Frain does a fantastic job. You guys probably saw him on the 3rd season of True Blood. He was also on Grimm. He's currently being seen on Gotham on Fox, which is that Batman prequel show. It's kind of lame, but yeah, man, James Frain is basically he's like a young doctor and inventor hybrid, and he's trying to perfect this device that allows you to read the thoughts of the dead. The episode's masterfully directed by Mr. William Malone. He also wrote it too. You had previously seen him in season 6 doing Only Skin Deep, not to be confused with Only Sin Deep with Leah Thompson, but both pretty damn good episodes. I prefer the play on words, the Only Sin Deep. But hey, William Malone, awesome director, man. He did Creature in the 80s, but then he went on to do lots of awesome anthology horror. He did Freddy's Nightmare, a couple of episodes, I think, 2 or 3 of those. He also did, Tales from the Crypt right here. But the one that I gotta make mention of is Masters of Horror. He did Fair-Haired Child, I believe it was, and holy smokes, man, that is a creepy episode. That was Mick Garris's kind of take on the Tales from the Crypt format on Showtime. Masters of Horror, if you guys have not checked that out, please seek it out. It's pretty badass. And I feel so bad because I'm totally going to butcher her name, but Siobham Flynn? Huh? I'm sorry, but she is the love interest of Mr. Frain's character, and can't give any spoilers as to what happens with her, but something bad goes down, and so, yeah, man, she was actually reunited years later on Fear.com with Mr. Malone, so kind of funny in that respect. It's a great cast too, man. I mean, you've even got Colin Firth's little brother in a supporting role. I mean, the episode is well acted, good practical, really cool, just almost like it's an effect that you saw quite a bit as like we went into the 90s and the new millennium and stuff like that, but there's almost like a scattered shot kind of, I don't know, I can't really say too much beyond that, but it looks so very cool. William Malone, man, badass director, and he actually returned, and I do not believe that I have mentioned this series yet, but after season 7 of Tales from the Crypt, and they decided to not renew the show, which was kind of sad, and it kind of hurt my heart. They're like, yeah, we're gonna make Tales from the Crypt movies. Well, they did a show called Perversions of Science, which was like a sci-fi Tales from the Crypt almost, more of like an homage to the Twilight Zone, and William Malone actually directed an episode of that too. So, hey man, the guy had his imprint on this episode, and yeah, I gotta say, it is most deaf, top to bottom. It's not super scary, but really good writing, fantastically acted. It is without a doubt the Bueno episode today. So let's get into the Malo now. That's right, we went from Bueno the good, now we're gonna go to Malo the bad. That's right, man. And this one is called Smoke Rings, but as you're seeing below, spelled a little bit differently, you know, like almost like wringing out a cloth or something. I don't know. Episode has a familiar face in it. You get Mr. 007, that's right, the current James Bond, not to be confused with Werewolf Concerto, where we saw Timothy Dalton, another former Bond. And if you guys have not seen Werewolf Concerto, mind blown. One of the best Tales from the Crypt episodes possibly ever, in my opinion. Beverly D'Angelo, damn, it's so good. But, you know, this one is pretty forgettable. Not only is it not scary, it's very hammy. And this one kind of embodies a bad Tales from the Crypt episode for me. You know, it's where they try to get too gooftastic. I personally love where they really juggle the scary and the funny well, and this one doesn't even try to be scary. It doesn't even try to be that mysterious. Daniel Craig basically shows up and he's got this invention that is gonna like, just, it's almost like a, you know, power of suggestion type thing. It makes people just immediately act compulsive and, you know, kind of, it's such a silly episode, and he's in cahoots with some people beyond the ad executive people that he's trying to, you know, like actually get hired on with. And his performance isn't bad. You know, Daniel Craig's a hell of an actor. If you guys have seen Layer Cake, you obviously know this. But as we've seen a lot in this 7th season of Tales from the Crypt, there is a heavy, absolutely fabulous connection, which is very strange, and that's a show that ran for over 20 years, and they're working on a movie right now. And actually, the person who directed this episode of Tales from the Crypt, Mandy Fletcher, she's working on this ab-fab movie or whatever. So yeah, she doesn't have a lot of credits beyond TV under her belt, and it's mostly absolutely fabulous as far as those go. The script is okay. You've got Lisa Sandoval working on it, and she was a script supervisor in like the 5th and 6th season, I believe. By the 7th, she was an associate producer, but man, I gotta tell you, with the exception of being kind of cool to see Wedge, you know, Rogue 3, I believe he was, in the Star Wars films. You know, he was in 1, 2, and 3, or excuse me, 4, 5, and 6, and cannot wait for that Force Awakens film, man. It's gonna be incredible. So excited. But yeah, I gotta say, man, this episode is just muy malo. It's boring, it's not scary, and it's just not what Tales from the Crypt needs to be, at least in my opinion. And, you know, despite having some first-class British thespians involved, it falls short, it falls flat, it's just bleh. You know, so let's get lastly into the Feo episode. Yeah, that's right, peeps. This is the ugly episode. And ugly, it can be good, it can be bad. It's one of those just like, it's like a, almost like a Joker, you know, like a Dark Horse type thing where you're like, okay, this person's coming out of left field and I'm not exactly sure what you're all about. You're not necessarily amazing, but you're not terrible either. You're just doing things a little bit differently. There's some sort of like ugly factor to it. And this one is called, as you're seeing below, About Face. And so the premise here is that you've got this very slimy, like, preacher, priest type guy, and yeah, he always is sampling the goodies of, you know, all the different ladies who come and, or, you know, whether they're secretaries or whether they're I don't know, just like looking for some counsel or guidance or whatever. Yeah, there is some slime factor going on, which is being perpetuated by Mr. Anthony Andrews. Awesome British TV actor. I mean, you can even tell in this, and he gives a very good performance. This almost became the Bueno episode today, but, you know, Report from the Grave was just that damn good, I couldn't deny it. However, he has this sham marriage with Imelda Staunton, who you guys probably most recently saw in Maleficent, but yeah, so that's just his cover, is that woman, and then out of nowhere, he has a illegitimate child show up, played by Anna Friel, and oh my heart skips a beat thinking about this actress because of the fact that she is such a babe. She is an incredible actress. Even on top of that, you know, I fell in love with her on Pushing Daisies, which is an incredible show that has a deep Tales from the Crypt connection if you watch some of my previous episodes. But yeah, man, she was also Elizabeth Bathory in this like late 2000s, you know, adaptation of, well, not adaptation, but we're talking like historical documentation about that crazy bitch who used to bathe in blood and all that different stuff. But so yeah, Anna's character shows up and she has a twin who you see later on in the episode, and so it's like the whole, you know, who's the evil twin? You know, one is beautiful and breathtaking, and the other one is absolutely frightening looking, as you can see by that photo that I'm showing right now. And so, yeah, illegitimate child shows up, slimy priest. I mean, justice is going to be served in some capacity, as it always is on Tales from the Crypt, but this one, the Feo, is most definitely this evil twin, and obviously the behavior of this slime bag priest, man. It's a good episode. It easily could have been the Bueno, as I mentioned, but I can't spoil anything as much as I would love to, so... But there you have it, guys. The Bueno, the Malo, and the Feo for the big 3-0. That's right, the 30th episode of Tales from the Crypt here on October 30th. And man, I gotta say, with only one episode left, I'm like batting away a tear. It's been such a fantastically fun ride, and I cannot extend enough of a grande gracias to all of you peeps who, whether you're watching this, you know, as the episodes are rolling out, or if you're just discovering this a great deal of time later, thank you so very much for tuning in and, you know, giving some Tales from the Crypt love, man. It's a show that I would love to see just return to TV or even in film at some capacity, but, you know, the horror show, which is the other project that I do when I'm not here covering the hottest entertainment with an edge, we got to talk to John Kassir, the voice of the Crypt Keeper, last year, or excuse me, earlier this year, I should say, at the 2015 Mad Monster Party in Phoenix, and man, apparently there's licensing rights, all kinds of red tape, and so that's what's holding the show back. But in any event, who knows, maybe, fingers firmly crossed, they'll be able to figure that out at some point in time. But I've been Jaime En Fuego. You have been watching ENFUEGOTAINMENT. You can find me on all social media sectors, just at Jaime En Fuego, just like you're seeing it spelled below. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, obviously here on YouTube, so please like and share and subscribe. If you dig this video, leave a comment, man. Say something, talk some smack, give some feedback, whatever it may be. And also make sure to check out the Horror Show channel at thehorrorshowchannel.com, just like you're seeing that below. That's where I do yearly spooktacular coverage. This was just a little, you know, diversion in the month of October. So once again, merci, arigato, danke, thank you. The list goes on and on. I've been Jaime En Fuego. This has been the 30th installment of my Tales from the Crypt coverage. And until next time, sin amigos, I'm gonna end it like the horror show. Stay scared.